Please don't think too much about the types. I just want you to be able to put the numbers in the right place and then solve accordingly. I used to do 3 types, but to be honest, there are infinite number of types. I just want you to be able to figure out where do the numbers go and then solve accordingly. So here we go. But I'm going to tell you flat out that you must find the middle, okay? That's what this is all about. Okay. A sports club found that 95 of its members, no talking now, okay, please? 95 of its members played at least one of the following sports. If it says at least one, what does that tell us? No outliers conveniently. Don't get too used to that. And so I'm going to call this football, T for tennis, B for badminton, okay? And so let's start our Venn diagram. No matter what, I'll just start my Venn diagram if I kind of realize that's what this is. So football, tennis, I usually go by the order in which it's given. Badminton. Okay, let's continue. So football is there 36, tennis 28, 51 badminton. Make sure you put your box around it if you want full marks. And do I know my universal? It's 95 because they told me that they're all in at least one and it was given right from the top. 5 play both football and tennis. So football and tennis, it's just and. Yeah, emphasis on the and. So put it outside. 5 belong in this section right here. I put it outside. Don't put it in any of these sections because then you're wrong. Okay? Tennis and badminton. It's this intersection between tennis and badminton. So that is 8, 10, football and badminton. So right now it's just and. There's no only there. I don't know if you've noticed that. There's no only. So here we go. I will highlight the at least one, saying that there are no outliers. That's important. And 10 played football. And we don't know the middle, right? So that I usually put like a variable there. X is the most common. So you need to find the middle. You cannot solve this if you don't know the middle. Okay? So we got to use that long, ugly formula, which goes like this. In this case, it would be if I unite all of the sets. How does the formula go again? I hope you have the template on your study sheet. You would add up all 3 sets like this, right? All 3 sets. Then you subtract all 3 what? All 3 intersections. So the intersections go like this, and I'm going to go around here. I'm going to go the intersection between F and B. You don't need to write out the formula in the future, okay? This is just for illustration purposes. Minus the intersection between F and T. Minus the intersection that happens between tennis and badminton, right, out here. And I hope you have enough room for that little tail, which is actually the one that takes up the most space. Plus, at the very end, you need to add where they all meet at the very center, which is, we use this notation, F and T and B, right? They're the members that are participating in all 3, okay? This is essentially, this is going to be replaced with X moving forward. So again, the union of all, the pi tells us that we need to add up all 3 sets, whatever is in them, take away all 3 intersections so we don't double count, and then add the middle to it, and then we're effectively finding the union the members that are in all these sets here. And remember this, you would always take universal minus the outliers to actually have this number. But we know that outliers are 0, right? There's 0, so we would go 95 minus 0, and as cheesy as that looks, I am actually going to do it. So you don't forget about the outliers. And then just go ahead and plug in numbers. So 36, 28, 51. Minus all three intersections. I'm going to try to stick with the order that I used here. So this would be 10, 10, and then 5, and then 8. So all three intersections are just numbers, which is very convenient. That's going to change in a bit. Plus, I'm just going to call that x, okay? So all of those letters and whatnot have all been replaced with numbers, and you can go feel free to omit this step in the future. Okay, it's just it takes up too much room, and it's not really necessary as long as you know what you need to do. So here we go, 95, and whatever we can add, we will. Okay, so sure, mental math is probably the best, but I don't want you to get it wrong on a test. So minus 15 minus 8. So you end up with 92 plus x. And then you go minus 92 minus 92. And you end up with 3. You've actually now answered A. If you read the question A here, it asks us how many played all three. It's essential to get that, right? We need to figure out. So three members played all three. We just found that. So let's put A next to this section, the work we did here. And once you've got the middle, the whole Venn diagram just comes together, right? Make sure you have all the numbers right, okay? If you're writing this down. I think it's worth highlighting the intersections because you need your intersections. Right? Those are the ones we subtract. And then you add the middle, of course. Okay. So let's go back and fill in the Venn diagram, because usually they will ask you more questions about your Venn diagram. So we go, this is now 3. And you should be able to fill in the rest, right? If this is 5, the whole intersection, then it's 5 minus 3 is 2. 8 minus 3 is 5. 10 minus 3 is 7. And then you go 36 minus 12. That's 24. 28 minus, what is this, 10? That's 18. And 51 minus 15 is 36. Now it's completely filled in. Now whatever the question is going to ask you further, you just refer to this Venn diagram and answer. Okay. I will try to do this here. B, how many played exactly 2 sports? We would go 2, 7, and 5. 2, 7, 5. So that is what, 14 members? C, how many play only football? 24, right? Based on our Venn diagram. Please don't ever leave these blank. Go ahead and even if it doesn't work out, sometimes students, like the Venn diagram does not work out, they just leave it. It's like, whatever, I'm leaving this whole question, let's move on. Make it work. Make your Venn diagram work, put something down. If it just doesn't work, put numbers in there and then answer everything else based on your Venn diagram. You still get marks for B, C, and so forth. D, how many played football but not tennis? So right now it's all words, but you got to be comfortable with them sometimes using notation. So I will do that here. Football, not tennis. So you're only considering those two sets. So football, not tennis. So you actually add up 24 and 7. Because, right, that's what's left. Football, these two like football, but they do not like tennis. So that's 24 plus 7, which is 31. Sorry, it's a little cramped there, I know. But I wanted the diagram to be there while I did that. Okay? Okay, so it's going to get a little bit uglier. I want to make sure we do this one before we go home, okay? 29. All right, let's go. So middle piece, find the middle piece, then work out. So you're still gonna have to find the middle if it's not there. That's gonna be your primary concern here. Use the following clues to draw a Venn diagram and then answer the question. So 28, have at least one of the following pets. Dog, cat, bird. I need to change the fact that there are no outliers, but we'll get around that. But they're basically saying dogs, union cat, union bird is 28. So, and everybody has at least one. And they don't give us a total, okay? Like from this, so 28 is what we're assuming is our total. So let's draw our Venn diagram here. So dog would be 13, cat would be 13, everybody has 13. Universal is 28. We're going to put a 0 here for our outliers. So now you have to be careful. This is where you were careful this whole time, right? But 5 children have a dog and a cat. Dog and cat, the intersection is right here. So we're going to put 5 at the top of that.
Excuse the interruption.
Okay, so 5 goes outside. Then next, 3 children only have a dog and a bird. Highlight the only there. So dog and bird is right here. Because of that only, you're going to put that here. Okay? That is where it gets interesting. But not really. We can handle it. 2 children only have a cat and a bird. So cat and bird, they meet here. But because of the word only, it could have also said have a cat and a bird, but not a dog. That's another way of saying that. So the 2 goes in there. No child has 2 of each type of pet. That is for set theory. We can't have repeats, right? So that is just a note there. Now, the middle is missing, correct? We're going to have to use pi, that ugly formula. All the 10s so loud. But we need the intersections for pi to work, guys. We need all intersections. We need to somehow refer to it. So watch this. 5 is the intersection here, correct? What would the intersection here, how would we refer to this part right here? We can't say 2. We have to say 2 plus x. Yeah. And this intersection here is 3 plus x. You guessed it, yeah. So we still are able to write the intersection, but now in terms of x. So let's go find the middle. So find middle. That is our request. If you don't know it, you have to find it. So I'm going to go, I'm going to spare you the details here with the long formula. I'm just going to go universal minus any outliers. Then we're going to add up our 3 sets. They're all 13. Then we're going to subtract the intersections one by one. The first one is 3 plus x that I picked, right? Minus. The next intersection is, it's just 5. It's not 5 plus x, right? It's just 5 because we were given the intersection. Minus. The next one is 2 plus x. And last but not least, what do we need to add at the end? We need to add an x, right? You need to add the middle there. Okay, so let's clean this mess up here. 28, 13, 13, and 13 is 39, minus 5 is 34. Okay, so I'm combining all the numbers, and I'm leaving those x terms as they are right now. I'm not touching them just yet. Okay, and so we got to clean that up. So 34, this negative distributes. It's technically a negative 1 in front of this bracket. So what's a negative 1 times 3? Negative 3. A negative 1 times x is negative x. Go over to this one. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Negative 1 times x is negative x. And we go plus x. Oh, you can't see that, sorry. Is that better? Okay, let me, I just wanted to have the Venn diagram on there. There you go, that's better. So I distributed the negative, basically turning everything that was in those brackets turned negative, plus x. Now I'm going to clean it up further. What can I do with a negative x plus x? I can just cancel it, right? We just cancel those two x's. So now I can clean up the numbers. 34 minus 3 is 31. Minus 2 is 29. And what am I left with here in terms of x? There's just a negative x left over. Okay. Now what? Now we bring this over to, or we subtract 29 from both sides essentially, leaving us with negative x is equal to negative 1. And you're wondering, what? Negative? I can't have that. No problem. Divide both sides by negative 1. X is equal to 1. So one of the children owned all three. Okay. Now we go back and fill out the Venn diagram and see what happens. Before I do that, because this is going to be, we're about to be done with the lesson today. I just need you to know that you have to be careful here. Sometimes you end up with 2x, like actual 2x. Like you could end up with an expression that's 29 minus 2x. That just means that at the end you're going to have to divide by -2, right? So if that ever happens, be warned. And I can't tell you when you're gonna have one scenario over the other, but let's fill this in now. This is 1, which means that 5 minus 1, this is 4. I don't need to do anything here, that's already done. Here I will go 13 minus 3, that's 10, minus 5 is 5. This is 13 minus 7, that's 6. 13 minus 6 is 7. Okay? And there you have it filled in. How many children have a cat, a dog, and a bird? A is asking because it's like all of them. This is A right here. We answered it. So one child has all 3. How many children have only one pet? 5 and 6, that's 11 plus 7, that's 18. Children have exactly one pet. Hold it. What if I asked how many children have a dog and a bird? A dog and a bird. 3 plus x, right? Like we used to have this expression, but now we can just say it's 3 plus 1, right? It would be 4. Okay? So you now have everything you need to do that. Okay. I'm going to ask you quite a bit actually. 30 to 33. But I'm gonna encourage you to do certain pages before you do the rest. Sorry, you can't see that, but at the bottom of 29, pages 30 to 33, I want you to skip to 31 and 32, do those ones with Venn diagrams. So 32 to 33 do first. Actually, I will say page 31 to 33 first, and then do page 30. That would be my recommendation. So tomorrow's Thursday, right?